about the film is, so Dulce's a little girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she undocumented or not? And was she born in the U.S. or in Guatemala?
Yeah. The question was Dulce documented or not? And yeah, so we have, in the U.S., we have birthright citizenship law, which now some people want to change. But we do have it still, and basically it means that if you're born, like if you are born, right, on U.S. soil, even if it's like 10 feet over the border in U.S. soil, you're a U.S. citizen. And Dulce and Helen were both born here. Sam and Alita came with Gilbert. Gilbert was like 1 year old, and they came like in the trunk of a car across the border. And so Gilbert was born in Guatemala. That's why he's undocumented, and he's still fighting. His court case is still kind of like being delayed. But yeah, Dulce and Helen are U.S. citizens. And you saw Helen say you can apply for your parents. As a U.S. citizen, you can apply for your parents to be citizens once you turn 21, but she's only 15. So. Why is it age 21 that you can apply for? I don't know. It is frustrating. And then there's kind of like a little bit of irony going on, because has anyone heard of the term anchor baby?
No.
So people, okay, so someone who has heard of it, what do you think it means?
It's like supposedly people are coming and then they're giving birth to babies. So then the baby's a citizen and then they're like leaving here. And so the baby's a citizen, but the parents are not.
Yeah, so it's referring to people who come to the U.S. supposedly just to have a baby, and they have a baby who's a U.S. citizen and then acts as like an anchor, and a lot of people think that somehow that makes the parents citizens, but in reality you have to be 21 as a kid to like apply for your parents to be citizens, so it's actually really not true and kind of like filled with misinformation. But I don't know. Immigration, I think maybe they made that rule so that people didn't do that. They just came and had a kid, and then like immediately that kid could apply for the parents to be U.S. citizens, because it's really, really hard to become a U.S. citizen. A lot of people spend like their whole lives fighting and fighting and fighting just to like get that passport, you know. You can, if you're born here, you are. And if you marry a U.S. citizen, you can pretty easily become a U.S. citizen. But other than that, it's really, really hard, especially if you come from a third world country or a developing nation. And especially if that developing nation is Mexico, which is right here and has many, many people, or another country that has kind of like a lot of immigrants. So yeah, so that's part of like the really restrictive immigration laws that the United States has.
I heard that one of the reasons why you have to be 21 is because you have to show that you can support like your parents. Like whoever you're trying to make a citizen of, you have to be able to support them.
What?
So she's saying that she heard that one of the reasons you have to be 21 is because you have to be able to support your parents. Yeah, I haven't heard that before. Could be true. I think they definitely expect, if you become a U.S. citizen, like the government makes sure that like you can work and that you are like a productive member of society. You don't have a record, like a criminal record, and haven't been deported before. Because once you get deported, you usually face like a minimum 10-year ban. Like you can't come back in the United States for 10 years. So, like I said, the lawyer let the parents come back. That's like really unprecedented. Like the lawyer's been doing this for 30 years, and he's never seen it happen before. So yeah, and then basically he was fighting to bring them back on the premise of how difficult it was for Helen, like the emotional hardship that she got depressed, she started doing bad in school, and she, as a U.S. citizen, because that's really the only people that matter in the eyes of the immigration officials, was having a really, really, really difficult time and needed her parents, which she did, and she does.
I was wondering, you know, the lawyer said that never happened before and it's unprecedented. Was your film used as material for the case, or do you think that that exposure helped it along a little bit? You know, because sometimes when things are put into the media or have a visual representation like this, it pushes things along, where if they didn't have that to begin with, they would be just as an unspoken, a voice that's lost. So do you think your film had anything to do, or hopefully had something?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. There's no way to really tell, but like the immigration people did watch the movie 2 days before they made the decision, and the case that the lawyer was trying to make was how difficult it was for Helen. And I mean, you guys can tell me, but I think hopefully the film shows how difficult it was for her, at least like a little bit, like a little tiny like snippet into her life. So.
And it's also not very political either.
Right.
You're showing just the emotions of the family and how difficult it is, but you're not making a case against the United States or anything, so it's not very angry in that way. It's more about what it's doing to the families.
Right, yeah, and that's normally how I try to make films and make photographs, is not by having like experts say, you know, this is how it is and this is what you must believe, or make a film that kind of like has a really strict, hard viewpoint, but something that just really like lets people tell their own story in a really human way, so you can like get to know them as people, and not just like have this idea of like, you know, undocumented immigrant, illegal alien. If you turn on TV, I can't tell you how many times you hear those words, which don't even make sense to me. So yeah, trying to kind of bring like a human face to these like big, sprawling political and social issues.
What was it like for you filming this family? Like, was it hard? Did you enjoy it? Like, how did you go about filming it? I mean,
yeah. So the question is, what was it like to film this family? It was really, at times, really hard. I mean, this is like coming back from the airport. I mean, it was pretty much like one of, if not the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the family are all really amazing, super warm, awesome, super cool people. With that said, because they were so warm and inviting, like, and now they're like my friends, and like I'm Theo, and I'm like, you know, part of the family, and Guatemala, Evita, and her mom, Adelina, were like, just like, oh my God, I ate so much food, they just feed us tamales, tamalitos, like Christmas tamales. It was just, it was difficult on a, definitely very difficult on an emotional level, but at the same time, not anywhere near as difficult as what they're going through. But because they're so warm and inviting, it was kind of like easy and fun in that respect. And like the whole process of filmmaking, you know, there's like post-production, you do research, and you're like, okay, what film am I gonna make? Then eventually you settle on a film, and it's like production, where you're actually shooting and filming. And then there's post-production, which usually takes the most amount of time, which is the editing, and the music and the color correction, and just like all this stuff, basically sitting in front of a computer for months and months and months and months and months. But that production piece is like my favorite. When I'm out in the world talking to people and meeting people and photographing, like I'm a photographer and I shot the whole movie, a cinematographer too. So that's my favorite part. And that part with the family, for the most part, was really fun. So yeah, and it's a testament to them too, because I mean, you look at me like I'm an outsider, I'm a stranger. I mean, I speak Spanish conversationally, but I'm not fluent. Like I'm this big white dude coming into their house. And immediately I kind of pitched the project to them, and immediately Evita was like, you know what, this film might not help us, but this isn't for us. Like this is for people who are going to be going through the same thing like a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. And from people who have this really kind of skewed vision of what an undocumented person is. Because they've been here for 20 years, they're active in their church, Evita was taking care of a 2-year-old kid from birth, like she was his nanny, and then taking care of a 99-year-old woman who was about to die. So she was like literally caring for our young and our old. So yeah.